Hello everyone, Thempirene here with more new cards. We've got the Legend Over Collection Heroes because we've got a full wave of more Limit Over rare things. The full art cards, the frame breaks, these guys. We got a whole wave of them for the Heroes collection. I assume over the next 6 days we'll get the Rivals collection version of this. They went backwards from Vrains to DM, but I'm going to go forwards from DM to Vrains. I imagine in about 6 days you'll see another of these videos where I go over the Rivals ones. But for now, let's take a look at what we got for the Heroes. First up, we got Dark Magical Curtain featuring the Dark Magician Girl. I bet dollars to donuts that this is going to be airbrushed away. This little cleavage right here is going to get airbrushed to Kingdom Come. Dark Magical Curtain is a quick play spell card. You can only activate a card with this card's name once per turn. Each player can special summon one dark spellcaster monster from their hand or deck. Each player? Weird. Then if your summon monster's original name is Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl, you can add one spell trap for your deck to your hand that mentions Dark Magician except for Dark Magical Curtain. Also, the summoned monster cannot activate their effects this turn. Which is not in addition to the search effect, it is in addition to the summoning effect. So this is a very interesting card. Let's really quickly look over effect monster, dark spellcaster. You could get the man with Wajat, which is funny. Acrobatic magician, sure, I guess. You could get Alistair, very funny. Allure Queen is kind of interesting because the Allure Queen support. Obviously, her effect wouldn't be able to work, but at the very least, you could make some of the Link monsters with that, which is kind of neat. You could, of course, get any of the Dark Magician stuff. You could get Astrograph Sorcerer, really good card. It doesn't have any other restriction, right? From their hand or deck. And then if it's Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl, you get the add. But even without that, there's some cool stuff in here. Where's the cool stuff? Cosmo Queen's kind of interesting. I don't know if it's good to summon, and it's only not able to activate its effects for the rest of this turn. So anything that has a quick effect on the opponent's turn could be quite interesting. For instance, can we get there? Har is in here somewhere. Diabell Star is just a good card to have on field, regardless of her effect actually resolving. She's kind of hard to out. So this can also, there's no restriction on what you do with this monster afterwards. This could just be a free 7, a free extender for any Ixies deck of any level, as long as they're willing to play spellcasters, right? Are any of the fairy tales dark? That could be interesting too for the fairy tale. Oh my god, there's way more in here than I thought. But yeah, Har is in here. There was some other interesting ones that I was seeing. I'm not gonna be able to show them on screen unless my kind editor is able to put them up for me. But Scarlon had a list that I thought was quite interesting. Yeah, Altergeist Pukari, Gravekeeper Shaman, Har, Leo Wizard, the Dark Fiend, Mind on Air, Witchcrafter Hane, that's a nice one. Mythical Beast Jackal King, the one that has a negate on it. There's some cool stuff you can do with this card. Very interested. And then, of course, if you just go for Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl, you get to add Harpies, you get to add the fucking Dark Magician cards that are board wipe, wipe all the spell traps, that kind of shit. And then you could just not rank up. You get to turn Dark Magician into the Dark Magician of Destruction. Yes, Dark Magician of Destruction. And then you get to search another card. That's crazy, dude. You could do so much with this. Really exciting card. Next up, we got Flame Wingman, another favorite hero. Favorite hero is apparently just going to be an archetype in yet another hero typing in the hero deck. Favorite hero apparently is mostly used for super poly targets because this is a level 6 Wind Warrior fusion with 2100, 1200, 2 monsters with the same type but different attributes. A reverse Mud Dragon. I mean, that's perfect, right? Now we have one for everything. We have one for same type, same attribute in Garura. We have one for same attribute, different type in Mud Dragon. Now we have same type but different attribute. We have every super poly you could want. This card is always treated as an elemental hero card. You can only use the first and second effects of this card's name each once per turn. An attack is declared involving this card and a monster with 2200 or more attack. You can make this card to gain the 1000 attack. You special summon a level 4 or lower monster from your hand in defense position. If a monster is destroyed by battle this turn, quick effect, you can fusion summon an unknown fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field. It's bad. It's not a good effect. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to have a good effect. Although honestly, like as a super poly target, this is a fine effect. You don't, like, for a super poly target, it just removes 2 guys from the opponent's field. Or potentially 1 guy and 1 guy from your field if you're needing to go early on it. And because of that, any effect that does anything whatsoever is a good effect. So like this is not actually all that awful. And same with this, honestly. Like it's like fine. They're fine effects. Maybe not for heroes, but it's something good to do with the super poly, right? So that's cool. Then this card. This card's insane. I cannot believe they're printing this card. Synchro Emergency. You can tell it's a powerful card because it has the word emergency in it, just like Rescue Ace Emergency. Normal trap card. You can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. If your opponent, if only your opponent controls a monster, you can activate this card from your hand. So it's a turn 0 play. You cannot special summon for the extra deck for the rest of the next turn after this card resolves, except for synchro monsters. Also, special summon 1 monster in your hand, but its effects are negated. Then, if your opponent controls a monster, special summon from the extra deck, you can special summon 1 synchron monster from your deck. If your opponent has gotten out a monster from the extra deck, you're able to get out a synchron monster. You are also getting 1 out from your hand. That is 2 monsters to make a synchro monster with. What's the second effect? Banish this card from your graveyard. Immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon 1 synchro monster. So, as soon as your opponent has committed to an extra deck monster, you are able to synchro summon on your opponent's turn. I don't think I need to say, well, I probably do. Maybe I do. This is insane. There's already been FTKs labbed out with this. So like we have not only first turn kills, but 0 turn kills. Your first turn killing on your opponent's turn. That's fucking insane. I cannot believe that. I cannot believe that exists as a thing we can do. I hope they ban Beelzes. That's not Beelzes is my chatter. I don't think that's the name of the. What's the name of the card? Beelzeus, or is it just Beels? Yeah, okay, it's Beels. It's just straight up Beels. Sorry, Beelzes. Shout out to Beelzes. I hope they don't ban you, Beelzes. I hope they ban Beels though, because it just is a card. Or maybe they should ban all the tax dragons. But I like the tax dragons. I think they're funny. But I could see why they would ban them. But maybe this card shouldn't be printed. I don't know. Although, like, if you ban, like, the tax dragon, Blackwing Assault Dragon, this card is, like, perfectly fine. It's actually a really cool card, giving Synchro ability to play on turn 0. I think that's awesome. I think they should, like, this is a really, obviously it's more for Synchron than it is for other decks because you have to the Synchron requirement. But like any deck could run 1 Synchron to make this card work, right? Any Synchro deck could run 1 Synchron to make this card work. I don't know, it seems really interesting for Synchro decks. I don't look forward to seeing this in Cool Tune in Genesis format. Hopefully they hit it before that happens. Next up, Gagaga Girl cell phone subtraction. This motherfucker, she on her phone. I love this art. It's so cool. Not only is it just a cute girl on her cell phone, I love the cell phone. I've always loved the cell phone of Gagaga Girl. But also, look at that. She's sitting on the frame of the card. I love that we're doing cool things with the frame. It's so good. Dude, the fucking frame breaks are so fucking good. So, Gagaga Girl Cell Phone Subtraction, which is an incredible name also, is a level 3 Dark Spellcaster effect monster, has attack, 800 defense. You can only use the first and second effects of the turn. If your opponent special summons a monster from the extra deck, you can target 1 face-up monster you control. Special summon this card from your hand, then immediately after this effect resolves, Ixie summon using only it and the targeted monster. When you do, treat this card's level as the same as the monster's. So this is a little unfortunate. I wish this summoned out a monster instead of having to target a monster you control already, so that it would be a turn 0 play. I want more decks to have access to turn 0 plays. And the easiest way to do that is to create generic turn 0 plays instead of having everything be archetypal. And I think the best way to do generic turn 0 plays is to just like create cards like this if it summoned itself and then summon another monster, or like the Synchro Emergency, right? Where you activate the card on your opponent's turn and then immediately summon out 2 guys and then immediately make a summon, right? And it's just one guy on the field and it does a little interruption. That's cool. Obviously they can do more from that depending on what they summon, but that's all dependent upon other things. And then you can adjust from that by pruning back cards that you think are a little too powerful to summon the opponent's first turn, right? This instead is a card that is an extender going second. Theoretically, if your opponent like summons on, I guess it could be an extender going first. If your opponent does a turn 0 play on your turn, it kind of counters a turn 0 play a little bit. But it also helps going second if they summon on their turn, or it helps on the third turn if they're summoning more on that turn, right? Which is cool. It's a cool card. And then it also has an effect where if it's attached to activate an Xyz monster effect, you can change the attack of one face-up monster opponent controls to 0, which is fine. That's fine. It's just a little extra added bonus to an already pretty decent card. I think this is going to go good in Automat. I think it'll be good for Genesis Automat, although maybe Genesis Automat should be hit again because it already got a top already, and it's getting more support even than that. So, we'll see. But I think it's a good card for a lot of Xyz decks, potentially. It gives a lot of Xyz decks the ability to quick summon on the opponent's turn, even if it's not turn 0 like I would hope. Then we have Astrograph Sorcerer, the Star Magician. A new Astrograph. Another guy you can summon off of that Dark Magician card. Oh my god, so much text. Level 7, Dark Spellcaster, Pendulum Effect, 25, 2000. Pendulum Scale 1, just like Astrograph. Pendulum Effect. You can only use the Pendulum Effect of this card's name once per turn. During your main phase, you can destroy this card. And if you do, place one Pendulum monster whose Pendulum Scale is 1 from your hand or deck to your Pendulum Zone, except for Astrograph Sorcerer, the Star Magician, but it cannot activate its Pendulum Effects this turn. So it gets you any one from the deck. You can activate its effects later, just not this turn. It could get you Astrograph Sorcerer, for instance, which is funny. It's just like another copy of Astrograph. You only use the first and second monster effects of this card's name each once per turn. If a face-up monster card you control is destroyed by battle or effect, you can special summon this card from your hand and special summon one that is the destroyed monster from your graveyard or face-up extra deck. It's Astrograph. It's just another copy of Astrograph. Did you want more Astrograph? Well, here you have it. I think is it slightly better because it summons the destroyed monster as well. During the main phase, quick effect, attribute this card. You can fusion one Dragon fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling against material from your. I guess it's not better, it's just different because it doesn't have some of the other Astrograph effects. To read this card, you can fusion summon one Dragon fusion monster extra deck. You can shuffle against material, face up extra deck, your field or face up extra deck into the deck. That's a cool fusion effect, actually. I like that. Let's get that original Astrograph up. Special summon this card, you can choose one monster in the graveyard, extra deck that is banished or destroyed this turn, add one monster of the same name to your hand. Okay, so it's reflecting that effect, right? Yeah. I seem to remember that an effect, but I could see this being good too. It's just like they're slightly different Astrographs for slightly different scenarios, basically. And it had that stuff involving Zark instead of having this fusion effect, which I think the fusion effect is slightly better. It's not really going to be the difference maker for Pendulum, but it is like another neat tool for them. But it's a deck full of neat tools, so it's. And then we have Cyberse Contact Witch, a new Cyberse Witch. Girl's pretty. Link to Dark Cyberse Link Effect monster, 800 attack, bottom left bottom, 2 monsters of the same type. You only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If this card is linked summon or a monster special to a zone this card points to, you can send one spell from your hand or face up field to the graveyard, add a ritual monster from your deck to your hand. Again, another one I can't believe that they made. It's almost a generic link to that searches any ritual monster in the game just for the cost of one spell, which most decks play. Come on. They're going to ban Habakiri. They're going to ban Habakiri. There is no way Habakiri lives while this card exists. There's just no fucking way. Because now literally any deck can make a Habakiri line. I don't know that that's a problem necessarily. It kind of just evens the playing field, honestly. To me, now it's not just specific decks that are able to get a Habakiri line can do it. Now any deck that can put 2 monsters with the same type on the field can get to Habakiri. And I don't know. I think that's kind of fine. Like, I know we're all memeing on it because of that, but like, I don't know. It seems fine to me. It does mean that things will get homogenized a lot. I just, if stuff like Fiendsmith and Mitsurugi and all these kind of like really small engines that really boost the power level of a deck all existed at the same time and were of similar power levels, so it was a little bit less homogenous, I think I'd be perfectly fine with that. I like the idea of bad decks being boosted by good engines. I think that's awesome. I think the problem is that Mitsurugi is on its own as far as that goes right now, because Fiendsmith isn't that good in comparison, especially with the hits it's had, whereas Mitsurugi has the one hit, the limit to Habakiri. I don't know. I am of two minds on that subject, basically, but I do like the idea in my, like, theoretically, of like a bad deck playing this card to go into Habakiri, as long as that's not like all it ends up doing. I do like that idea conceptually. It's just that, like, also obviously all the good decks could still do that too. It's the same thing with, like, it's not exactly the same thing, but it's kind of similar to how like max save functions. But I think if there were more engines like this, then it wouldn't be so much of a problem. You could target a ritual, fusion, synchro, or Xyz monster's card points to special one monster from the graveyard with the same type but different monster type. Ritual, fusion, synchro, Xyz. Funny. Like, that's awesome for like that's actually really good for certain decks. Decks that are not ritual decks that are playing the Mitsurugi stuff. Like, you get the Mitsurugi stuff on the field, have it in a zone this card points to. The card points bottom left, great zones. And then you get to summon out one of your Xyz monsters, synchro, fusion monsters, depending on what you're running. Like, it's genuine. This card is fucking insane. Like, on every single level, this card is insane. I'm actually really interested, because the way, like, with the synchro laddering you can do, I'm actually really interested to see what you could do with this effect. Like, you use this effect to get Habakiri, you do Mitsurugi combo, you summon one of your rituals to one of the zones this card points to, and you start doing synchro shit somehow, and then you summon back one of your synchros for more material. Like, there's so much you can do with this card. And I think this opens up potential for, like, I don't think there's any synchro decks that are running Mitsurugi currently. This opens up a lot of potential for synchro decks to run Mitsurugi, and then also do that, take advantage of that second effect to basically the fullest extent it could. Because, like, with Xyz, there's some Xyz monsters that can slap on top of an Xyz, but not a ton. Fusions, you can use fusion monsters as material, but it just doesn't have the same advantage gained as reusing a synchro monster. It's more comparable to Link monsters, like using a Link monster to Link climb, but Link monsters isn't on the list of things here. So yeah, very fascinating card. So yeah, like, we've got banger card right here, a good super poly target here, absolute banger card right here. Pretty decent card. I would honestly maybe edges into banger territory. This guy, he's not a banger. And then an absolute banger. Like, it's the hit. There's more hits than there are misses, and I think that's exactly what Yu-Gi-Oh needs. So I'm excited. Well, there's a little bit of me that's apprehensive about how much Yu-Gi-Oh is going all in on power creep in order to sell sets, but they tried not power creeping. They tried to slow it down, and it made for several unsellable sets. And look, I honestly don't care if Konami sells sets. I don't care if Konami dies. As a company, we'll play Yu-Gi-Oh regardless. At least I will. But what I do care about is fun gameplay, and I'll tell you, those sets, they didn't produce a lot of that. The deck build packs did. They produced some cards that were interesting and made for good play, but most of the junk that was in the core sets is just nothing. So I'm excited. I'm I'm looking forward to what these cards are going to bring. I'm looking forward to what else we're going to see from the rival side of things. I think there's some really interesting stuff they can do with the rival decks. And yeah, I'm hyped. My my tits are jacked, as Dan Olson said once. Oh God. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Let me know in the comments what you think of this video. Bye-bye. Hey there. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I've got a lot more for you if you want them. Just hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to get notifications. I'd also appreciate if you left me a like and a comment and maybe shared the video around with your friends. You can also follow me on all the usual social media sites. Just check out my website in the description below for more info. My videos are funded by my patrons, Ko-fi subscribers, and YouTube members, whose names you'll see scrolling by in these credits here. For just $1 a month, you too could find yourself here, trapped in my end screen for all eternity, among other benefits. In particular, I'd like to thank Jeremy Coatney, Frog Prince Michael, Fleakill, Haru Hayes, the Almighty Ferret Lord, Fire Mizumi, Beastman, Bryn, and Beelzis. A big thanks to all my patrons and to my little community as a whole. Remember to be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, and have a wonderful whatever time it is for you. Bye-bye.